Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. I'm on a mission to get it all. Ride through the city like Brennan Schaub. If you ain't thick, please don't get involved.
And now, Brandon Thick Boy Schaub.
What is up, fam? It is Monday, February 6th. It is big time fight week. UFC 284 pay-per-view is going down this freaking Saturday. Finally, a big boy fight to kick off the year, baby. UFC 284 in Australia. You got Makhachev, Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez, Josh Emmett, this badass Jack Della Maddalena. Is that how you say it? Magdalena. Randy Brown. That's a great fight. That Jack kid is a beast. Jimmy Crute, Alonzo Menafield. Jimmy Crute needs to win here. Tyson Pedro, our boy. Jamie Malarkey. This thing is so goddamn Australian. It's going to be a good night for them, I think. We'll get into that. But UFC 284 is here. Pay-per-view, big boy pay-per-view on ESPN. And also, big boy show coming up. We're doing a Joe Rogan fight companion in Austin with the original crew, Brian Callen, Eddie Bravo, the one and only Joe Rogan, and myself. We will be going live, I think, on Joe's YouTube. And then if you don't watch it live, it gets uploaded to Spotify. So make sure you check that out this Saturday. It's 7 p.m. Pacific time, so what's that? 9 p.m. Central time, yeah?
Should be.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Jim. Right. You don't need to check that. Yeah, so that's going down for all you folks out there. The original crew is getting back together in Austin. Now, I'm getting to Austin a little early because I have a very special Food Truck Diaries going down. Won't announce the guests yet, but a very special one. Should be a fun one. Casey and I are flying out there early to shoot this bad boy. Where are we doing that, Case? CM Smokehouse in Austin is where it's going down. So looking forward to that. Your boy's fresh off the road from Springfield, Missouri. Listen, fam, doing stand-up comedy will take you to places you never thought you'd be in doing stand-up comedy. I've never even heard of Springfield, Missouri. And then I get there, and first of all, I get to the hotel. There's Nick Swartzen flipping me off. That's how I was graded, so that's cool. The thing is I didn't know what to expect out of Springfield, Missouri, and I got to be honest, man. That Blue Room Comedy Club, top 5 of all time. I mean, fantastic room. The management's great. The crowds were insane. It was just a good time. Great time. Me and Jay went down there. We didn't bring the whole Thick Boy crew. David Lucas didn't come. Justin didn't come. Trey Stewart didn't come. The usual suspects. They were busy on the road doing their own thing, so it was just me and my brother. So we used the local Springfield, Missouri comics. They were great. We had one guy named Willie. He was 90 years old. 90 years old from Bronx, New York. He's been in stand-up for 40 years, and he comes with those fire one-liners. 90, dude. 90. Dirty man. Dirty old man. But very funny. Shout out to Willie, dude. If you are listening to this, your hearing aids turned up at peak hours right now. So you can hear me giving you a shout out, Willie. Love you, buddy. Yeah, Springfield's a special place, man. Springfield, now they kept saying Brad Pitt's from there. Brad Pitt was born in Oklahoma, but he was raised in Springfield. So Brad Pitt, you might see him pop up from time to time in Springfield, Missouri. It's about an hour outside of the Ozarks. You don't need to go to my page, Jen. It's about an hour outside the Ozarks. And they're mainly known for, well, the owner of Bass Pro Fishing is from there, I think. He's a billionaire, and he started the first Bass Pro Fishing out of there, or like the biggest one. Me and my brother decided to go to the aquarium. Dude, you been to Long Beach Aquarium? Yeah. It shits on that. Name an aquarium. SeaWorld? Shits on SeaWorld. I mean, it's insane, dude. Just to get all through just the aquarium where they have alligators, sharks, stingrays. You can pet the stingrays. Just get through it. You're looking at 2 hours. If you took your time, probably they told me to expect 4 hours. Me and Jay did 90 minutes because we, passed some of the stupid fish. But it was nuts, dude. Nuts. It just has, you would love it. It just has, it's multi-level. One floor, just all fishing gear. Yeah. Just all fishing gear, fishing boats, yep. Hunting, to restaurants. Mm-hmm. The restaurant there, Hemingway's. Yeah, steakhouse. Nutsos. They had one just level that was President's Fishing, and I guess the owner of Bass Pro Shop was really close with the Bushes, So they made a boat just for George Bush. George W. Bush. So it's his like presidential boat. They have it in there. There's just a picture of just George Bush and that rich ass billionaire just murdering fish, like just doing the damn thing. But Springfield, I will always go back to, man. Phenomenal club. Ridiculous club, man. You never know what to expect. I've been in some of those smaller cities, man, and the clubs are tough. Clubs are very tough. Sleepy towns, you know. The venues might be set up good, but it's just the audience, you know, it's just a sleepy town. Not this place, man. Great spot. Phenomenal spot, gotta be honest. Naples, you're up next. This weekend I'm in Austin. Next weekend I'm in Naples. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Comedy Off the Hook. I'll be doing some fishing out there. That's February 16th through the 18th. Then Bakersfield, California, one night only. That's a Thursday night, February 23rd. Things almost sold out. Bakersfield, let's go. Not adding shows there. I can't. So you get one night there. Now I'm one night in Brea, California, March 3rd. We had to cancel the 4th because on the 4th I have a fight companion, a very special fight companion. You think I'm going to miss John Jones' debut at heavyweight? Sorry, Brea. But we had to push that one back. So there's just one night, 2 shows in Brea, California, Brea Improv, March 3rd, 2 shows. So get you some. Then we're in Oklahoma City, Tacoma. The list goes on and on. But Naples, you're up next. February 16th through the 18th, Comedy Off the Hook. Then Bakersfield one night, Brea one night. Get you some. Make sure you tune into the Fight Companion with Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo, Brian Kell, and myself on Rogan's YouTube channel, and then will be fully uploaded to a Spotify. I'm excited for that, man. Nothing better. Funnest show that I do is that Fight Companion. Nothing freaking better. But I'm excited for the fights this weekend. But last weekend, you got it right, Chin, I was able to stream some of the fights. The UFC didn't stay up for. I didn't stay up for it. And also, for those hardcores that did stay up, how heartbroken were you when Derek Lewis got demolished in like 4 minutes? What was it? 3 minutes, some shit like that. It was a rough night for the hardcores because, 3 minutes. It's a rough night for the hardcores because, you know, if you're hardcore, you have a deep sense of pride, no pun intended, in the Pride Fighting Championship, right? The pride never dies. I think it died on Saturday night. Finally, the nails in the coffin. When Fedor goes away like that he's the last remaining emperor. And, you know, I don't agree. Listen, I like what Bellator did honoring the greats. I wish they would have done it earlier. I don't like that. It was kind of somber because after Fedor loses, he's in there. You know, it's kind of tough to watch. It's like, you know, it was just, I thought they could have done it different. I think they should have honored them before the show started, before the main card started. Like, you bring all them out, you open the broadcast with that, go through the broadcast, then Fedor has his, because it's Fedor, right? It's Fedor. So he should have had his own thing even if he lost. So it's just really primarily focused on Fedor. But it was kind of weird. It was like somber, kind of depressing type of thing. And then also, I mean, the UFC is notoriously known for doing it. Bellator, not really, but they did do it here. He shouldn't have been fighting for a title in his last fight, his retirement fight. Like, give him a fight that he can win. Have him fight another legend at the same, doesn't even have to be the same age, but maybe the same miles on the tires. You know, like Ryan Bader, how'd you think this was going to go down? I mean, there's always that, you know, kind of, man, if he could just clip him, or it's Ryan Bader, dude. You know, he beat the shit out of him. It wasn't even a fight. And it's like, that's his last time we see him in the octagon. That's not the way you show respect or tribute to a legend. Like, look what they did to Shogun. Look what they did to Frankie Edgar. Like, these guys that just get starched. I just don't agree with it. It should be.
He asked for the fight. He wanted it.
Of course, it's Fedor. Yeah. Here's the thing, and Conor wants to fight Makhachev or Alex Volkanovski. Yeah, we get it, dude. You've earned that right, but somewhere along the lines, management and then also whoever owns those organizations go, we get it. This is why you are Fedor. This is why you are Conor. This is why you are, you know, Frankie Edgar. You think you can beat these guys. That the mind's still there and the heart's still there. The body's not. So what made Fedor special with was his athleticism and his explosiveness. Now, when you're his age, what was he, 45?
46.
46? That's the first thing to leave. Explosiveness, athleticism. First thing to leave. So if you take Fedor's athleticism, you take how explosive he was. Remember, just pop off on guys or slam guys. Or you take that away, you don't have a world beater. You got a legend who's going to get beat the fuck up, which is what's happening. So it's tough, man. Now, look, he's coming off, 2 wins? He beat Rampage. Who did he beat? Chael. Yeah. Yeah. That's who he should be fighting. Those are exactly the guys he should be fighting. But Ryan Bader's no punk, dude. So he beat Timothy Johnson in Russia. He beat Quentin Rampage Jackson, lost to Bader. Before that, beat Chael Sonnen, beat Frank Mir, lost to my boy Mitrione. Fabiano Modano, majority decision. Most people think Modano won that fight. So you know when he fights like the Mitriones, the Ryan Baders, he loses. But look, Timothy Johnson, Quentin, Chael, Frank, these other legends. No shade on Timothy. He's not a legend, but he should have. His last fight should have been a guy like Timothy Johnson or Quentin Rampage or Chael Sonnen or Frank Mir. Or he should have fought like Josh Barnett. That'd been sick.
Yep.
I think Josh beats him, but he should have fought a Josh Barnett. It's just tough to go out on Ryan Bader now. And now it's another feather in Ryan Bader's cap. He's undefeated. But I think this is, when they say pride never dies, no, it's over. Unfortunately, it's over. Crow Cop gave him a sweet, kind of tribute post. The history with those two. But let's take a little break because, my Lord, we have 2 title fights this Saturday. One freaking epic night. That's Saturday at 9 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. I'm talking about UFC 284. Dana White's not going to promote it, so I will. This Saturday, Islam Makhachev is fighting to keep his title at 155 against the badass Alex Volkanovski, the 145 pound-for-pound #1 in the world. He is hoping to make history as the first Australian to hold a title in 2 divisions all at once. Join the MMA action with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. As you're going to listen to this show, I'm going out on a limb on here. I always like the dogs, but this is a special type of dog. You're talking about the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world is a dog. His size, his height, his reach, his skill set is an advantage here. It's not a disadvantage. I actually think the shorter limbs, the height, it's going to be tougher for Makhachev to get him down. I'm taking the dog here. I think Alex Volkanovski beats Makhachev in a 5-round decision, 3 rounds to 2. It's going to be a close fight. They do it again, but I do think Alex Volkanovski gets it done this trucking Saturday night, all right? If the excitement in the octagon isn't enough, football fans, don't forget to join the big game. We're talking about the Super Bowl in Phoenix, Arizona, and it is happening this Sunday at DraftKings Sportsbook. You got the Chiefs. You got your Eagles. I'm taking the dog there, too. I think the Chiefs are underdogs, aren't they? Are they plus 1.5? Either way, I like the Chiefs. All right? Download the app now. Use code SCHAUB. New customers can bet $5 on UFC 284 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly this Saturday at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code SCHAUB, SCHAB show. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. UFC 284. I'm taking Alexander Volkanovski. You're welcome. Then Johnny Eblen, I told you guys, he's top 5 in any organization in the world. That dude is a savage. he would be a problem for anybody in the UFC.
He's half Korean. I just found that out at the
Johnny
fights.
Eblen?
Yeah.
His name's Johnny Eblen. He's half Korean.
He didn't even look Korean.
Is he your favorite fighter now?
We were stoked. We saw Korean writing on his back. We're like, why does he have Korean writing on his back? It's tattoos. Then when we looked it up, he's half Korean. His mom's Korean.
His mom's full-blown Korean?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't know that.
You would never expect. See right there, Korean mother, American father.
Florida Korean mother. Oh, wow. It has to be a military thing, right?
Most likely, yeah. That's usually how it happens.
Oh, wow. He's a University of Missouri guy. God, Missouri has some. Think of Missouri. I'm not, as much as I love Springfield, and it just so happens that I came from there. It's one of my favorite clubs of all time. But and he's at American Top Team. Everybody says how much of a nightmare he is to work with. He's such a beast. Nightmare not being difficult. Nightmare meaning tough. Skill set, tough. Like all the top guys say he's a complete monster. But think about out of Missouri. You have Ben Askren. You got Woodley. You got Michael Chandler. Milwaukee, so, you close. Milwaukee, you got the Pettis brothers. You got Johnny Eblen. You got some savages that come out of that wrestling room in Missouri, dude. Jesus Christ. Good for him. Mm-hmm. Good for him, man. So Johnny Eblen got the job done. Ryan Bader got the job done. Brendan Ward got the job done. I think those are 3 wrestlers, right? Heavy wrestling backgrounds. Brendan Ward, you had Jean-Claude Van Damme jumping the octagon. It's kind of awkward. Funniest moment of the night when Fedor gets in there with all the legends, and he's going around. He gets to Chuck. Chuck's put on some weight. So has Rampage. We did a food truck with Rampage. I was like, that boy is thick.
Yeah.
You guys will see that food truck. He's one of my faves. But Fedor gets in there. He's like shaking hands with everybody. Then he gets to Chuck. And he's like, oh my God. He grabs his tummy. Chuck's like, man, get the hell out of here. But just some legends, dude. Legends doing their thing. It's cool that they honored him. The UFC really doesn't do that, So it's cool that Bellator did. They just kind of fumbled the bag there, doing it at the end when everyone's all sacked because Fedor got his ass whipped in 2 minutes, Lorenz Larkin, probably your MVP of the night. Lorenz Larkin. Everybody else did what they were supposed to do. Lorenz Larkin, the way that elbow. People forget, Lorenz Larkin, when he left the UFC, remember, he was a top 10 in the UFC, leaves. I don't think he's lost in 5 years. Like this is one of the problems when you leave the UFC is his picture's him shooting a gun. Go down.
Okay.
Yeah, go down for me.
Mm-hmm. To the fight?
To his record. Right there. So he had a no contest, but then that's the guy he just starched. So there you go. That settles that. So, yeah, he hasn't lost since 2018. He had a little rough start when he got to Bellator. Lost to Douglas Lima for the championship. Lost to Paul Daly. But you look at what he's done when he left, he beat Neil Magny, rode off the sunset Neil Magny, and that's when Neil was doing the damn thing. He beat Jorge Masvidal. Lost on a split decision. Keep going down. Beat Ponzinibbio, who was at the time a Savage. That's fight of the night. Beat John Howard. They had a little bit of a rough one. But, yeah, the guy's a fucking savage. Beat Robbie Lawler in 2012, Robbie Lawler. Scotty Light, yep. I mean, the guy hasn't lost since 2018, just flies under the radar. This is part of the problem. Like, I'm all for guys testing free agency, but when you leave the UFC, it might be a bigger bag. I don't know how it's going to work with compensation and sponsorships. And now people are like, well, the UFC can't have sponsorships inside the octagon. I know, but you have more sponsors outside the octagon, outside of the UFC, outside of the octagon. Like, because you're still in that mainstream, the biggest league, you have more eyeballs, which means more followers, all that shit. So I'm worried, even though they're like, I'm making so much more money. I'm like, to fight you are. I wonder how that works outside of that cage,
Yeah.
But Lorenz Larkin is just a savage that's so underrated, it's not even funny. Now, these payouts are hilarious.
Yeah, right?
They're hilarious. You guys know that Fedor's not fighting for $100,000, correct? The guy who's pound for pound top 3 heavyweight of all time ain't fighting his last fight for $100,000. And Ryan Bader didn't make $150,000. Bellator's paying those boys way more than that. Johnny Eblen, 150, no win bonus, just 150. I bet he's getting paid more than that. The rest of the guys, I don't know. But it just says no win bonus. That's interesting. And then Derek Lewis, falling some hard times. Dana said he's not going to cut him because he loves the guy. But, we had Derek Lewis on Below the Belt when I was doing the TV show. He came in there, and that was like right. Remember when he said he was done? He was retired. And then he was like, I was like, well, what happened? I thought he was like, my back and shit. Mm-hmm. He's like, I can't stand losing. I was like, oh, the haters. He's like, no, my kids. Come home. My kids are making fun of me, man. It sucks. And I was like, nah, I get it. And then he was like, so I was done. Then Dana called me up and threw me this offer I couldn't refuse. And he's like, I'm all right, fuck it. Let's do it. So when I hear that, like if that's in there where you're fighting for money, even though he went on this remarkable run, once the going gets tough and the chips are stacked against you, and you don't have that motivation to be the absolute best in the world, this is how it ends. This is how it goes, So big personality outside the octagon, amazing follow on social media, but and he was very upset at DC because DC was like, I think it's over for Derek Lewis, to be a top tier heavyweight. And it sucks. Guys hate whenever you say this stuff, but DC's right. It's tough, man. And for those hardcores that stayed up all night for this is what you stayed up for. You get your TKO, you're like, oh, this is going to be a good night. That woke me up. And then you have a majority draw, a unanimous decision. And they're like, all right, well, it's Derek Lewis, so there's going to be fireworks here. And then he gets choked out in 3 minutes. Tough night for the hardcores.
The majority draw, though, if you saw so Doo Ho Cho is Korean Superboy.
Yeah.
And he was, I feel like he was not easily winning, but definitely winning. and then he got costed a point taken away because the ref said he did a headbutt, but he was just literally just going like this, and it hit head slightly. So
and they took a point away.
Took a point away.
Did it cut the guy really bad?
Nothing. It was literally just kind of tap. It was like he was in a movement, so it wasn't really. So Dana White gave him his win bonus. He's like,
that's cool.
That's not true. He did not headbutt him.
That's cool. Yeah, but the MVP of that is no one who fought. The MVP of that is Laura Sanko.
Yeah,
love Sanko. She crushed it, man. And she's there with Bisping, who's a savage, and Brendan. They did the damn thing. But Laura Sanko's your MVP of that card, making history, being the first woman who absolutely deserves it. You guys know I don't fuck around with this new woke thing where everyone's the same. No. But with Laura Sanko, man, woman, alien, doesn't purple, black, white, Korean, doesn't matter. She is damn good as an analyst. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants to take things away from like, oh, it's just because she's a hot girl in this current climate. No. Laura Sanko would be your analyst whether it was 1970 or 2023. That's how good she is at her job. If you've ever watched Dana White's Contender Series, which they call it Laura Sanko's Contender Series because she's the star of that, it should be her show. But she's been doing it for a hot second. It's just these newbies who probably don't watch the Contender Series like this chick. This chick is really good. Man, woman, alien, don't matter. She's a savage. Deserves to be there. So shout out to Sanko for doing the damn thing. A lot of pressure too,
She also mentioned that she was kind of looking at social media, which, she's doing.
Sanko.
And then people are accusing her. Obviously, these are just haters, but they're saying like, oh, she probably had to sleep her way to get to that.
But that's the insecurities of all those losers on there because it's like pretty girl. So she's clearly super attractive. She could be a model if she wanted to. So you have this ridiculously good looking girl. And she happens to be in the fight business, which is majority male dominant, right? In every aspect. Mm-hmm. Fighters, analysts, people that work in there, the production, the fan base, predominantly, male driven. And they see this very attractive girl. I would assume 95% of the fan base has never seen a girl like that or had a conversation or sat down to have a drink with. So it's your own insecurities. And it's your way of trying to take her down, even though she's more than qualified to do the job. Clearly, she crushed it. So for them, it's their way to be like, oh, I bet you slept your way. It's like trying to, it's a crab mentality, trying to take her down. It's like, okay.
It's lame, yeah.
Just because you never got the girl in high school doesn't mean you got to spew hate towards Sanko, for God's sakes. You know how I know you're a loser? It's like, come on, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah.
She crushed it. Mm-hmm. And it's just a start for her. Just the start. She's going to keep doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
But this isn't a full-blown Laura Sanko show. We got to get her back on Food Truck, though. She was great.
Yeah, she was awesome.
Great. This is about UFC 284. Which, if you haven't heard, we're doing a OG fight campaign with Joe Rogan this Saturday, 9 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Joe Rogan's YouTube, then we'll straight to Spotify. I can't remember last time I was this excited for a fight. Trying to think. I don't like that the magnitude of this fight. This is what is wrong with the fight game right now is. Don't get me wrong, Conor and Michael Chandler, you guys know I balls deep in Conor. Love Michael Chandler, good friend of mine. Great fight. John Jones coming back, great fight. There hasn't been a fight in I don't know how long of two gentlemen, one at 45 who's a champ, one at 55 who's a champ, who's the pound for pound number one, pound for pound number two. And they have 2 losses between the two of them. And they're dominant fighters that are putting that on the line and fighting each other. As far as skill set goes, talent, and they're both in their prime, I can't remember last time the UFC had a fight of this magnitude that's gone under the radar. It just shows you where the current kind of status of the sport is at, where there's more news about Chandler and Conor coaching on Tough than Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski fighting in the main event in Australia. There's been more coverage. This is what's wrong with the sport. There's been more coverage of the slap fight league, of morons giving each other CT every single time they slap each other like some idiots, and they have these guts and they're in Under Armour. There's been more promotion for the slap fight league, which isn't going well, than the 2 best fighters in multiple divisions. The pound for pound number 1 versus pound for pound number 2 are fighting in their prime. This is unheard of. It is a goddamn gift, and nobody's paying attention to it. It's insane to me. Insane. It's a phenomenal fight. I don't know the last time we've had this type of fight. And now I do think it's different where when Izzy went up to 205 and he fought Jan, it was a bit of a nightmare. I think Izzy's mentality thought he could get it done, but the sheer size of Jan played a huge factor there, and he didn't entertain the stand up there. Here, it's not that this isn't the case. You got a guy in Alexander Volkanovski, used to be 210 pounds, used to fight at lightweight, moved down, changed his diet, became the most dominant, 145er to ever do it. But 55 isn't that much of a stretch for him. He's done it. He's competed there before, now a while ago in different competition, but he can fight at 55. I think you're getting a better version of Volkanovski at 55. Against a guy in Islam Makhachev, who's the protege to Khabib. This guy is his coach who carries a lot of weight says he's the best lightweight to ever do it versus the best 145er to ever do it. This fight is fucking nuts, man. Nuts. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and give my prediction. I don't like the disrespect Volkanovski's getting. I think you guys are forgetting. Everyone keeps talking about the sheer size of Islam and all this stuff. Alexander, again, his limbs, his joints, everything. He has a 2-inch reach advantage. I actually think his height, his size, is such an advantage for him in this fight. I think people are going to be surprised at how well Volkanovski is going to do in this fight. I actually predict, hot take, I think Volkanovski beats him via decision. I think Volkanovski beats Makhachev via decision. I think Makhachev is going to get him down. Make no mistake, Makhachev's been wrestling since he was in diapers against goats and fucking werewolves and whatever the fuck they're doing in Dagestan. He's going to get him down. I don't think he's going to be able to control him down there. I do think Volkanovski can get back to his feet. It's going to be, in Australia, so they're going to be a little biased towards Volkanovski. I do think he beats him, by 1 round. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think there's going to be some controversy. I think Makhachev is going to take him down. A lot of people weigh more and look more into the takedowns opposed to what Volkanovski's doing on the feet. So there's going to be rounds where I'm like, Makhachev did get him down, but Volkanovski's landed more shots on the feet. I think Makhachev's going to struggle with the tenacity, with the speed, the quickness, the sheer lack of height with Volkanovski. And I think Volkanovski is going to be able to get back to his feet, frustrate Makhachev, and win the rounds just by staying outside. I think you will see kicks. I think his speed, his quickness, his overall up and down game is going to be the deciding factor there. I think Volkanovski beats him via decision. And I know I should be sold on Makhachev. I realize how fucking talented he is. I realize how great he is at 55. I just don't like this particular matchup for Makhachev. I think he loses via decision. I think they fight multiple times. This isn't the last time we're going to get this fight. Then Volkanovski, if anybody can do it, at 45, he's so dominant. At 55, there's a lot of good fights for him. Makhachev's definitely the toughest fight for him at 55, but I think it's the perfect matchup for him. I think he gets it done. And he's a plus 310. So this is a big take. He's a plus 310, which is massive in the sport, especially for pound greatness. The lack of respect for Volkanovski. The difference is whenever there's these super fights, right? When TJ going down to 25, which was insane. When Conor would bounce up. The difference, and Conor has this similar trait, which is why he was successful at 45 and 55, even though he didn't defend it at 55. But the difference is the similarity between Volkanovski and Conor McGregor when you go for these double status champs is they believe they can do it. Volkanovski, trust me, 100% thinks he can beat Makhachev. Thinks that Makhachev, although he is bigger, isn't stronger. And Volkanovski, when he was on Food Truck, was talking about, he doesn't train with guys at 45. He's too strong. He only trains with guys at 70 and higher. So I know Makhachev, he's been wrestling since he's been in diapers, and his judo is ridiculous. And Khabib, this is how confident, and this is why I don't like this. Why slowly for the past week I've been deciding how I'm going to break this down, who I'm going to go with. I don't like what I'm hearing from Makhachev's team. Even Khabib, even though he's not going to be in his corner, months ago inside the octagon did an interview giving away the game plan. That's how confident they are. They go, Makhachev, Volkanovski can work on his wrestling, doesn't matter. We've been doing it for 20 years. Volkanovski can't make up the time. So we're going to give him the clinch, wear him out, get him tired, take him down, submit him. Okay. That's how confident they are. They're giving away the game plan. Now, it's not like it's this, oh my God, come to Jesus moment. Like Makhachev's going to give him the clinch and grapple. No, we know. I'm just saying, I really think the lack of respect from Makhachev's team towards Volkanovski is going to bind him in the ass. And by the third round, you're going to see Makhachev's like, holy shit, this is a much more tougher fight than we thought it was going to be. Now we're getting him down. You're not taking him down 5 times around, but we're getting him down. We can't hold him down. He's getting out of it. Now, there's a chance because of Volkanovski, his scrambles, he's tough on the ground. We've seen him with Brian Ortega. He gets in trouble. He gets out of it. Is the way he can create those scrambles is ridiculous, high level. The problem is when you're creating scrambles, you leave certain things open, your neck, your back, an arm, a ligament. So I do think Volkanovski has to be careful in transition from the ground to his feet because Makhachev, if he gets your back and your neck's open, he's going to take advantage of it. So the only way I see this being a finish is Makhachev does get a hold of his neck, which could happen in those transitions. But I think Volkanovski's prepared for that. I think he's been training for that. I think Volkanovski beats him. It's going to be controversial because our fan base, the MMA fan base, is going to be so tuned in on takedowns. So I really think that Volkanovski, you're going to look at the CompuStrike numbers, but everyone's going to be like, what about the takedowns? It's supposed to be more about the striking, and I'll take Volkanovski striking all day over Makhachev's. I think he has the tools to do it. I think pound for pound, skill-wise, I think he's better. I think his gas tank, especially at 55, is going to be a problem. I think his speed, his quickness, again, his tenacity. And the number one thing is that Kobe mentality. Alexander Volkanovski, 100% deep down in every fiber in his body, thinks he's going to win this fight, and that is a big deal. I think Volkanovski wins via decision. Be controversial because all you guys are going to care about is these takedowns. Even though he's not doing anything with them, Volkanovski can get back to his feet, continue to pepper his Dagestanian face, continue to light up that hairy fucking left leg of his, or his southpaw right leg of his. That inside kick is very tricky, very hard to deal with, tough to time the takedowns there. I think Volkanovski wins via decision, and you're going to get this fight. I bet you get it 3 times. Because here's the thing, Volkanovski's a good matchup for Volkanovski, is a huge threat to Makhachev. But outside that, there's not a lot of threats for Makhachev at 55. He's going to dominate at 55, eventually go to 70. But Volkanovski is going to get it done, and then outside that, Makhachev's going to keep winning, so you're going to get this fight a few more times. That's what's going to happen. And I do think Volkanovski goes down as your pound-for-pound greatest to ever do it. Now, I'll always have John Jones there, especially if John wins March 4th. March 4th, right? If he wins March 4th at UFC 285, that catapults him, no doubt, no ins, buts about it. He's your pound for pound number 1 of all time, especially at heavyweight. Yeah, March 4th in Vegas. But I do think this, when it's all said and done, Volkanovski is going to be your pound for pound number 1 of all time. Now, I always sway, I'm biased towards the heavyweights and light heavyweights, the heavier divisions who are so dominant because there's less room for error. But for Volkanovski, if he can beat Makhachev, there's no doubt about it. He's your number 1. And then there's still the co-main event. It's a great card, man. And we're doing a campaign for it. I can't fucking wait. You got Yair Rodriguez, Josh Emmett, phenomenal fight. I think Josh Emmett gets it done. I think he's an underdog too. I always take the dogs. I always take the dogs, man. Josh Emmett's plus 140. I think he gets it done. I think he's just too tough for Yair Rodriguez. I'm excited for Jack against Randy Brown. I think he gets it done. Justin Tafa, Parker Peter Porter, right? So best name in combat sports right now. That fight's whatever. But Jimmy Crute, Alonzo Benfield, what they're trying to do is come out the gates hot. they're trying to get finishes with this light heavyweight, and welterweight fight. They're trying to get 3 finishes quick, so this main card is fire for pay-per-view buys. And then they end the prelims. The main event of the prelims is our boy Tyson Pedro, who I'm always rooting for. And they kick it off with Jamie Malarkey, who's fantastic to watch. He needs to get it done, fight in his backyard. So if you're an Aussie fan, I think this would be a great night for you guys. You guys can go ahead and start celebrating Volkanovski's win. Josh Emmett's not your guy, but whatever. Jackson get it done. Taffa probably gets it done. Jimmy Crute gets it done. Tyson Pedro gets it done. Malarkey gets it done. They're going to be shoey all the way to the fucking sunset, I think, come Sunday morning. So it's going to be interesting, man. But I can't wait for this. Let's take another little break here. I can't wait for UFC 284, and I will be doing a fight campaign with Joe Rogan on JRE YouTube, which will then go to Spotify. But if you're watching that campaign, you're like, man, Schaub is on one. Look at the way his brain is firing off these crazy words. His vocabulary got so much better. Well, I'm here to tell you, I'm going to give you a little inside secret here. I'm on Kratom, but not just any Kratom. The only Kratom I trust. I'm talking about Happy Hippo. I'm on it right now. I use their little cherry shot. They have a highly concentrated Kratom cherry shot. Or I use the pink lemonade or the butterscotch is my favorite right now. However you want to try your Kratom out, whether it's gummies, powder, concentrated shots like I take, they all work, but they're only going to work if you use Happy Hippo. You can't trust any Kratom out there. Happy Hippo has the best Kratom on planet Earth. You go to happyhippo.com. Promo code is THICC23, thick with 3 C's, THICCC 23. You save 20% off the best Kratom on the frickin' planet. I use it every single time I need to be in front of a camera or on a mic. I rely on Kratom, but I only rely on one Kratom, and that's Happy Hippo. happyhippo.com. Promo code is THICC23, 20% off. Use as many times as you want. Let's get back to the program. happyhippo.com. Promo code THICC23. Breaking news, fam. My friends at Manscaped now sells beard products. My beard looks like trash. It looks like the printer ran out of ink, but I'm still here, aren't I? But for those of you with that just manly 300 Spartan beard, man, do they have some products for you. They're once again doing their thing in men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind the Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard just how you want, man. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com. Use the promo code SHAUB for 20% off and free shipping. The best beard products on the market. Just when you didn't think Manscaped could get any better. Oh, but they just specialize in my jewels downstairs. Nope, they're going upstairs. I'm upstairs, as my friend Theo would say. No one likes a weird beard, so say goodbye to all your stubble trouble with Manscaped Pro's Beard Kit, all right? It all starts with the Beard Hedger. This thing is a juggernaut of fixing faces. Your girl doesn't like your beard? She will now when this thing gets a hold of it. First off, this cordless trimmer has a frickin' supersonic wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard. What do you want to do? A Philly fade on your face? You want that freaking Spartan beard? We got you, man. It's waterproof, so you can do it in the shower, but I'd probably do it in front of the mirror just not to mess your stuff up. The titanium-coated T-blade is tough on the hair, but smooth on your face, all right? Single stroke, they got you, bro. We don't need multiple strokes. One stroke hitter here. First, there's the beard shampoo and conditioner, all right? And guess what else Manscaped has? A little beard oil for you. That's right. It's an essential piece for your main facial accessory. No one wants a guy whose beard is brittle and dry and smells like hummus, all right? Cap off the kit with the beard balm, a pomade that shapes. Dude, shape your stuff up. I can't do it. My beard's awful. But still, I have psoriasis. But if you don't have psoriasis and you have a beard, get this. All right? So get 20% off and free shipping with the code SHAUB at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with the free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code SHAUB. All right? Manscaped, Beard Hedger, 1 stroke, 1 guard, 20 length. Get your beard on. Manscaped.
Yeah.
All right, Chin, what do you got?
Let me look at Parker Porter. He reminds me of something.
Peter Parker Porter.
Okay. Anyways. Yeah, so we did talk about the Chandler and McGregor thing, but how do you feel about them doing Tough?
Tough needs, that lifeline. It needs a little life into that series. Mm-hmm. I like the idea that it's not just on ESPN Plus; it's on regular ESPN too, which is massive. I think this can go well. I'm curious to see the demand of Conor right now. I'll watch it. No, it's Conor. He's probably the only guy to get me to watch that show. So I see what the UFC is doing there. I agree with the UFC doing Chandler and Conor over Conor and Ferguson for a variety of reasons. And this fight is at 170, which I love. So the question is, what version of Conor are we going to get? I don't know. But he's going to be forced not to be on yachts, not to be playing grab ass, not to be in his Gucci silk, robe and all that shit on a yacht, because he's going to be in fight camp with these guys on the Ultimate Fighter. So it's perfect situation for the UFC. Brilliant what they're doing there.
Yeah, and apparently as of now, he still hasn't re-entered USADA's testing pool. So
Yeah, you guys need to get off this. It's not happening. It's Conor McGregor. Shut the fuck up.
you don't think?
Not happening. Forget about drug tests and all this stuff. Don't matter. He's an outlier.
Okay,
He's the one exception.
they are saying that he would have to do 6 months and then get 2 negative tests. if he's gonna-
Sure.
So it'll be later this year.
You don't have
if
to do
anything.
shit.
Okay. This was just a funny post from
Tough, all my children edition. Hilarious.
Dustin Poirier.
Now, you're batshit crazy if you think Conor Chandler is going to beat the numbers the Ultimate Fighter 10 did with Kimbo Slice,
Yeah.
Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
All right. Roy Nelson. All right.
That was a pretty dope season, though. Gotta admit.
The best.
Yeah.
The ratings say the best. What can I do? I have nothing to do with it.
This is from the Fight Mafia. I don't know how accurate this is, but it was just interesting for me to see these pay-per-view sales. Conor versus Anthony Joshua. So it says Conor's 18.4 million total.
Yeah, in 9 pay-per-view events.
Yeah,
13 pay-per-view events for Joshua.
and that's 13.4.
It's just different because McGregor, those 9 pay-per-view events were massive. And then with Joshua, some of those 13 weren't as massive.
That's true because the card's like stacked.
Yes.
Versus just Joshua representing.
Yes,
Okay,
but
yeah.
those Conor fights were massive, stacked.
All right. This is Aljamain Sterling saying that he is 100% fighting Henry Cejudo in May. He needs a little bit more time past April. And then he might go up to 145 after that.
Yeah, I love him at 45, and I agree with him. If he were able to beat Cejudo, he still needs to clear out the division. So if he were to beat Cejudo, which is a big if, but if he beats Cejudo, you still got Sugar there. If Sugar gets a fight, you got Cheeto. So there's some other tough tests for him there. I don't think now is the time to jump there. I think there's some massive fights for him still at 35, but I like it.
You mentioned Cheeto. So originally, Cheeto versus Sanhagen was going to be at the Apex, but I guess fans are going crazy because they want to see him in a big, venue. So they actually moved it to a bigger venue. So
Thank
they have
God.
18,000 fans there.
In San Antonio.
Yep.
That's such a good fight.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that fight. What else you got, Jen? I'll do a fight campaign for that Cheeto fight. Cheeto's our boy.
Said March 25th.
Sanhagen's my boy, too. I'm not picking that fight.
Yeah. Not this one. Let's go jump to this one. I think we talked about this a
Max
little bit.
Holloway, Arnold Allen gets my dick hard.
They're headlining.
Oh,
It was a fight night. Too.
fantastic fight. So, take
April
all my
15th.
money, even though it's free. Well, kind of. You still have to have ESPN, but
Yeah.
that's a phenomenal fight. This is a fight, too. It's not like Max Holloway's it's like gatekeeper. This is just a big, big fight, much well-deserved for Arnold Allen. Like, you're fighting a legend. It's a legend who's not over the hill. Like, Arnold beats him, we're going Sizzler.
And who do you think? I think you're going to pick Arnold, right?
I don't know. I do not know. I do. Nice try, Chad.
I know.
Who you got, Max?
I think, honestly, I love Max, but I think Arnold gets it for
Arnold's
sure.
a savage. Probably the best prospect out of England since Tom Aspinall, for sure.
Tommy Aspinall. So Cody's original opponent, Julio Arce, is out due to a knee injury, and then he's going to get a guy named Trevin Jones for UFC 285. And then I looked at Cody's record, so it's not that
lately.
great.
He's lost 5 out of 6.
But his opponent, the new opponent, also not doing that amazing. So it's probably a better matchup.
He's losing decision, technical submission, TKO, submission, decision. Yeah, I think Cody's about to piece this dude up.
All right, so this is Jake Paul and Tommy Fury and his wife. So I guess they gave birth, right? And then they didn't announce
They
it.
gave birth. She had a baby.
Yeah, they had a baby. And then I guess they didn't even
Apparently,
announce
she
it publicly.
gave birth to a human being. They
Yeah,
both
dude.
did.
They did. And so they didn't publicly announce it, and then somehow Jake Paul got that info, and then he wrote. Hold on a second here.
These young kids, man, I'm telling you, they have no they have no control. They have no filter. There's no line they won't cross. They're such savages.
Oh, there he goes.
Tommy has no excuses now. Baby's born. Money's massive. Immigration, no issue. Tyson promises he and Papa will make Tommy retire from boxing and change his last name if he can't beat the YouTuber. Tomorrow I'm coming to London to look at all three Furies in the eye and shake on that promise. People are mad at that?
Yeah, because they didn't get to announce it themselves. Somehow Jake got the information.
Broke the news.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
And then
this is what these young kids do, man. They're vaping, sucking, fucking, getting tattoos on their face and shit.
And apparently when when this picture came out with Tommy Fury and his Molly and their baby, Jake Paul wrote, why do I keep losing this thing? There, right there. No, not that. This right there, right here. I know, dude. There's like multiple
How are you
ones.
bad at internet?
I know.
Just in time to watch your dad get knocked out. Oof.
Yeah.
This one, but Molly May traveled from Manchester to London just to give birth whilst keeping her privacy, one of her basic human rights, and Jake Paul took her announcement away. Yeah, that's fucked up. But all is fair in love and war.
That's what these kids do, right?
Both love and war. These kids, these youngsters, they grew up watching Euphoria. They lost all their foundation of what's right, what's wrong. You know, I grew up on Saved by the Bell, much different time. Much different time.
I guess I forgot where this was at, but Kevin Lee recently took a picture with Dana White, and then he posted this as well. Hold on.
McMahon? Is he there for a slap fight league?
Oh, it's gone now. But yeah, so people are saying, because you know he was part of Eagle FC, Khabib's organization,
which is done, I think, right?
It seems like he's gone.
Good, man. Fuck this. I have all the money in the world. I drive a Toyota Tundra. I'm gonna ride off in the sunset in Dagestan.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's just
Kevin
like
Lee's like, I'm in the slap fight league.
That would be terrible. Hopefully he's back in the UFC, but yeah, that would be terrible. All right, so this is Conor McGregor offering to sponsor Katie Taylor if she gets her dream fight in Croke Park, and he said he would pay up to like $500K.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Mm-hmm. Conor doing the Lord's work.
Yes, he is.
The extra security bill is $500K to have Katie Taylor fight at Crook Park. I will sponsor the event to see this happen. Wow. And Hearn said, let's talk, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Bet they make it happen.
And this is, you mentioned this before, Sean O'Malley doesn't have a manager or anyone that takes care of his.
Did he just negotiate?
He negotiated an 8-fight deal.
But now he's number one.
Huh?
But now he's number one in the world, so he renegotiated. Mm-hmm. So UFC Dana White announced, signed an 8-fight extension. Was it 16 fights? O'Malley addressed the new deal on his podcast, on a very gracious contract that I'm proud of. I had a number that I'm very happy with. I truly don't think any manager that I had could have went in there and got me what I got. That also helps with the relationship built with UFC. I feel like I've earned this contract. I feel like I've earned the amount that I'm getting paid.
Yeah. All on his own.
His next fight.
Well, he says he's happy.
Yeah, good for him.
Mm-hmm. So we mentioned power slap fighting earlier. So remember, it was like the original, when it came out, it wasn't awful, great. Like second one was pretty good.
Decent.
And now it's like dropping even lower.
Yeah, it's gonna keep going that way. It doesn't go like this. It's gonna go here and
this is what Dana White says.
JFK Jr. airplane.
The popularity of slap fighting on digital media, like internet, TikTok.
Here's the thing, Baldman. Dana White claims his new power slap league is outperforming the WWE and UFC and NFL on TikTok. Yeah, because it's a shit show. Yeah, because we're all making fun of it. Yeah, we like to see just the highlight of someone getting knocked unconscious from a slap, but that's not where you make your money. I mean, you can make some money off TikTok, but it's outperforming because people repost saying how stupid this looks. It's not because people have more respect for it, people care more about your slap fight league compared to the WWE or UFC or NFL. And here's the thing. The only reason we're aware of it is because you're using the UFC platform to put it in our face.
In our faces,
like a dick we don't want in our mouth. It's like, he's just fucking, no, all right. You know, it's just this dick in your mouth. It's still not working.
Yeah, I scroll past it. It's just, I don't want to see it. But this is interesting, kind of disappointing too. Anthony Smith, he went on record saying how much he loves it, can't wait for a pay-per-view of slap fighting. And of course, Nate Diaz, I'll show you.
He's going to keep that analyst job.
I know, people, you got to do what you got to do, right?
But I'm kind of with Anthony Smith on this. It is interesting. Now, I'm not tuning into it every Wednesday, but the highlights, like Dana's saying, it's bigger than UFC, WWE. Also, how are you going to shit on the UFC? It's even bigger than UFC. It's like, hey, dude, quit forcing us to think this was a good business decision. It's not. Take an L, dude. Just take the L. It's all good, baby. You still got $400 in the bank. Take the L. You know, it's stupid as shit. It's so stupid.
It's so stupid.
He told MMA on Sirius, I've been saying it for fucking months. I cannot get enough of the Power Slap League. So do it.
Dude,
So you do it.
participate in it?
My body is ready for a pay-per-view. My body is ready for a
I
pay-per-view.
know, that was weird too.
I will pay for it. I don't care how much it costs. I'll prepay the next 10. I love it. I don't know why. I can't give you a reason. Lionheart thinks his love for the slap fight may be down to the fact he got to speak with some of the Power Slap contestants and watch them film the show. Maybe because I was there during the pilot of it and I've seen it in person. I get to meet these guys. I get to talk to them. I imagine you think some of these guys would be like that are involved in the Power Slap Fight League.
And then he finishes off here.
I just think about what kind of person would do it. That's exactly how they are. I'm a fan of chaos. These guys are goddamn maniacs. There's something wrong with them. Something not right. They've got a couple of screws loose, and they're my type of people. I love them. I loved every second of it. I love talking to them, support them. I know a lot of people hate it. I know a lot of people think it's gross. I love combat sports. Not a sport. I don't even know if I'd call it sport. There you go. It might not be, but I love it. There you go. And what Nate said.
It's so funny, dude.
So he posts that, and then Nate Diaz responds to it. He goes, Anthony Smith is a dumb fuck.
It's so funny.
I don't think you're dumb if you like the Slap Fight League. Maybe if Dana White was involved, and it, you know, maybe I'd be more. It's a cheap view. That's all this is.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, World Star videos of two women fighting and their tits coming out probably get more views than the UFC. World Stars aren't being like, yeah, we're bigger and more mainstream than the UFC. So if that's your angle, we're bigger than UFC, which you're part of and built, which is so hilarious. This Slap Fight League, which is fucking stupid, is bigger than the UFC, NFL, and fucking NBA on TikTok. Like, that's your angle. That's when those words came out of his mouth, he should have been like, fuck. Because World Star's doing, yeah. When we show people getting shot in the face, it beats UFC numbers too. Doesn't mean it's more popular. Just mean people are turning like, let me see this complete train wreck. That's not going to be around long.
Yeah, the fact that it's tied to the UFC is what really bothers me the most.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too. That's what drives me nuts. I'm with Anthony Smith. There's something about. I've said this before. I think I said before Anthony Smith.
You're one of the.
I'm one of the few who watch it too. I don't know. It's because it's such a train wreck. You're like, I can't believe, and I know it's not going to be around too long. I have to watch it.
Just enjoy it. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, last one. This is we spoke about this off air, but so Dana White forgot Islam Makhachev's name when he was promoting.
This was very Biden of him, wasn't it?
It was very weird.
So
I mean, honestly, I forget. I'm sure you forget sometimes. Even famous people just forget on the fly sometimes.
Absolutely,
this won't be tough. Though.
Absolutely not. Especially if I own the. That'd be like me forgetting one of your guys' names. If someone's like, "Who's the producer on the show?" I'm like that.
When you say it that way, okay, yeah.
You know, it's your business.
I know.
And you're in charge of promoting and you're at a press conference. I would at least looked over the sheet like, all right, what are they going to ask? You know? Mm-hmm. And it's a week out. Like, come on, dude. And you're getting shit for not promoting it.
That's where this is even crazier because Makhachev he was telling me before, like, I don't like how they're not even.
Yeah, man.
And then he forgets his name.
And this fight is nuts talent wise. Fucking stupid. Best fight the UFC's had in I don't know how long competitive wise. Nuts. The most two talented guys on the roster fighting each other in their prime. And you want to talk about Power Fight League? I think this is a sign where Dana's literally, he's over it. He's over the UFC. He's over the UFC. That is no longer his baby anymore. The Power Slap Fight League is his main focus. This is more evident than ever. Forgets the name of Makhachev. The week before the huge fight, which they haven't promoted, he's been telling the UFC brass to promote the Power Slap Fight League more because hopefully he gets better numbers on TikTok. If you don't think he's over the UFC and has lost passion, you're out of your fucking mind. Because if you were still balls deep in the UFC and you want to take it to different levels and you weren't just riding off the coattails of ESPN knowing you can get your check no matter what, you would be doing the Lord's work trying to promote this fight of the two most talented, most skilled fighters you've ever had compete in their prime. Instead, you're more focused on the Power Slap Fight League. You can't tell me he's still passionate about the UFC. You can't. You can't.
Yeah, we've been seeing more power slap stuff than the UFC 285.
100%.
For sure. For the
Also,
last
if you're
couple
so passionate about the UFC and you want to grow it more, why would you even get into this Power Slap Fight bullshit?
out of nowhere.
It can't be a money thing. It's literally a passion. And here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that. I've been down I don't want to be too into the weeds there. I've been that way on some shows where I'm like, I've been doing it for 5 years. I want to do something else new over here. Yeah, I've lost passion for doing that show. I'd rather focus on this over here. There's nothing wrong with that. Everything has a timeline. Mm-hmm. Everything has a time limit. For Dana, he's bored as shit. Look at his face there. He's all. Dana White at these press conferences looked like Ben Affleck at the Grammys. I don't know if you saw that. He looked miserable next to J-Lo. I don't know if they just got in a fight or whatever, but the whole time just like staring at the ceiling. Play this for me.
When you have the number 1 versus number 2 pound for pound guys in the world fighting each other, like you said, in their prime, it's never happened. If you think of all the fights that we've done in the UFC. So, when you talk about legacy, if Volkanovski could pull this off, it's obviously massive.
Of course.
And if
checked out.
Yeah, can pull it off. It's he's on his way to building an incredible legacy.
Yeah. You forget the guy's name in the main event.
I mean, I'm sure he's super tired of promoting Slap League too. But I get you. I get you.
Yeah, it's a passion thing. Here's what I'm not knocking him for it, but just start its own thing and focus on that, and then have someone run the UFC account that's promoting Makhachev Volkanovski, for God's sakes. Don't do us like that, Daddy. And also don't disrespect Volkanovski and Makhachev. They're never going to forget this either.
Of all people, Makhachev, who was criticizing the promotion, and then he forgets his name. Yeah, pretty bad.
He's like, you don't have an argument. I'm sorry, what's your name? But did you see Dave Smith at Slap Fight League the other night?
Dave Smith. On
TikTok? Insane. Well, let's give this thing a promo that Dana should have. You have the two most skilled fighters on the roster in their prime. They have 2 losses between the two of them. They have probably over 50 wins between the two of them. Over 50 wins, 2 losses. The 2 most skilled fighters in the UFC in their prime are fighting this Saturday in the main event for the pound-for-pound title. If that doesn't get your nutsack ramped up, nothing well in this sport. It is the 2 best doing it, fighting in their prime. One guy is undersized, but he's fucking dominant and has more skill than anybody else on the roster. The other guy is of Dagestani royalty. He was raised and coached by Khabib Nurmagomedov's dad for this exact moment. They're both fighting for pure UFC legacy. The winner of this fight is hands down the most talented, best fighter on the UFC roster. And they're fighting for that this Saturday in the main event. What? And you forgot the guy's name, Dana? Grow up. So you got Islam Makhachev, Alexander Volkanovski fighting for straight up history this Saturday on pay-per-view in Volkanovski's backyard. Co-main event, you got Yair Rodriguez, Josh Emmett. You don't think Volkanovski and Makhachev are getting promotion. How do you think Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett feel? And then you got Jack Della versus Randy Brown. You got Jimmy Crute, Alonzo Menenfield. You got my boy Tyson Pedro fighting. You have Jamie Malarkey, the most Australian name ever. They're all fighting this fucking Saturday. I don't know if it's new better than TikTok numbers. I don't give a flying fuck. I'm 39 years old. But what I do give a fuck about is the two most talented gentlemen on the UFC roster who are good at every aspect of mixed martial arts and have one loss each and over 50 wins combined are fighting this fucking Saturday at 9 p.m. Central Time. And I'm doing a fight campaign with Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo, Brian Callen. If that doesn't get your dick throbbing, nothing will in this sport, and I feel sorry for you. Go watch Power Fight League, all right? So that's going down. Make sure you tune into the fight companion. Make sure you support Islam Makhachev, Alexander Volkanovski, Yair Rodriguez, Josh Emmett, all right? It's going to be a fun one. I can't wait. Best fight in a hot second. Show some respect. Tune in. Buy the pay-per-view. That's this Saturday, 9 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. That's it. Tour date-wise, shout out to Springfield, Missouri, my favorite place of all time, top 5. But next up is Naples, Florida. I'll be doing fishing out there. Watching fish by day, stand-up comedy by night. February 16th through the 18th, Naples, Florida. Bakersfield, one night only, February 23rd. That thing's almost sold out. Can't add shows, so get your tickets right now. Brea, California, one night, 2 shows. Early show, late show, Brea, California. March 4th is Calbass Fight Companion with some very special guests. Rampage Jackson, Jelly Roll. And we got another very special guest coming up too, which I'll announce soon, all right? So that is March 4th on Thick Boy YouTube. They have Oklahoma City, March 9th through 11th, Tacoma, Washington, March 23rd through 25th. Get your tickets right now. But Naples, I will see you guys soon. That is next week, February 16th through 18th. Tune in to UFC 284. Makhachev, Volkanovski, going down this trucking Saturday. Also tune in to Joe Rogan's YouTube. If you can watch the Fight Companion live on there, and it jumps on over to Spotify after that. So I love you guys. Enjoy the fights. Be nice to each other. Stay safe. Till next time. I'm out.
If you're into thick boys, like, subscribe, comment, and God bless America. Well, that's not my big one. Just kidding.